Vivziepop is a highly mysterious character, first appearing not as himself, but as a creepy robotic clone. Even more mysteriously, he's been revealed to have been besties with Blitz, and incredibly, he has a close relationship with the Lust Ring's embodiment of Lust himself, Osmodius. Somehow though, I've managed to piece together all the clues into a cohesive, feasible theory about Fizz's history. Before I begin, please subscribe to ensure that you don't miss out on any Helluva boss theories, and to prevent my channel from fading into the algorithm. Most don't, so it's really appreciated when you do. My socials are in the description. Now back to the video.
Yeah, subscribe.
This
is adult Disney.
The opening act is a fresh one.
First of all, here's my idea of what Fizz's connection to Blitz was. Let's get one thing straight. I personally don't believe that these two are brothers. Fizz isn't present in Blitz's family photo with his mother and sister, and yes, that definitely appears to be their mum. To me, that's
a bit like
already
Luna's
enough.
hair.
But you might be thinking, well, in that case, why do they share the same birthmark on their forehead? Seeing as Blitz and Barbie were performers from such a young age, I have a hunch performing was a family business. As such, I think the symbol is much more likely a brand of their circus or whoever they belong to. I also think they would have made it more obvious that they were brothers rather than close friends in the last episode, because they have no real reason to conceal that information anymore. Long story short, I think they're ex-besties, not estranged brothers. So they used to be childhood best friends.
They could have
and
been like
now
brothers
they can't stand
then.
each other. What happened? I don't know about you guys,
Luna!
but to me, it seems like Blitz might have been the one that was wronged. He seems far more angry with Fizz than Fizz seems with him. Everything that Fizz has shamed Blitz for hasn't been to do with himself personally. It's just been straight up rude insults. Here's some other evidence that might back this idea up. While Blitz has shown remorse for his actions towards Veronica, he actually hasn't shown any indication he wronged Fizz, or let alone let on that he feels guilty about anything he's done to him. I mean, sure, he looked sadly at the photos, reminiscing about the good old days, so to speak, but the Fizz in his hallucination simply says,
You tried the solo act, it didn't work out so well.
This isn't him regretting something he did to somebody, this is him regretting where he ended up. And to make it clear, I think this comment is about Blitz splitting from Barbie, and not him splitting with Fizz. I don't think Blitz and Fizz ever performed together beyond childhood, and perhaps their teenage years, seeing as Blitz appears to be in his teens at the oldest in his latest photo with Fizz. The amazing Imp Twins seem to have been formed after that photo if the older look of the siblings and Blitz's lack of braces are anything to go by. Performing with his sister isn't exactly going solo. So what could Fizz have done that would make Blitz so angry that he'd stop being friends with him? We don't have too much to go on, but we do get a personal attack from Blitz that we actually know has truth behind it. Blitz calls Fizz a sellout.
Cheap-ass robo-ripoff of an overrated sellout jester! Someone's salty!
Now that we know they were so close during childhood to at least their teens, this idea of Fizz setting out could have had a much more personal effect on Blitz than it initially may have appeared. As I said earlier, I think they may have performed together at a circus as kids and became best friends. Being as close as they were, they probably even dreamed about making it big together. If Blitz is saying Fizz sold out and he's angry about it, perhaps it's because he left Blitz behind at the circus to pursue his own dreams. So when the hallucination mentions things didn't work out for Blitz when he went solo, perhaps it's because things did work out for Fizz when he went solo. In my Barbie Wire video, I theorized that Blitz wasn't actually that good of a performer. So what if the agency who recruited Fizz forced Fizz to leave Blitz behind and he agreed? Specifically, I think he signed with Mammon. If the Mammon drip Fizz and Blitz are wearing in this photo is anything to go by, they idolized him, and him buying Fizz makes sense. Not just because Vivziepop's likeness is everywhere in the greed ring, but because Fizz shares shocking likeness to the only depiction of Mammon that we've seen thus far. He probably wanted Fizz to look more like him as a way of branding him. Being greedy, he also would have wanted him to make more money, and that's where the body modifications came in. Sure, Robo-Fizz is a robotic copy of Vivziepop. It makes sense for him to have robotic parts.
Hey, Implings, it's me, the robotic Vivziepop.
I love this show so much.
That dude has limbs that extend. This dude is a straight up android. Hell, he doesn't even have horns anymore. What happened there? Clearly he wouldn't do any of this for no reason. No, rather than for personal reasons, I'm convinced this is something he would have been forced to do. Fizz didn't just sell out.
I need to watch Has Been Hotel from beginning again.
It worked out for him though. Not only has Fizz become a huge celebrity, he's netted himself a business relationship with Osmodius, the embodiment of lust. Maybe even more than a business relationship. Let's talk. Despite preaching about how sickeningly sweet Moxie's serenade for Millie was, Fizz and Ozzy kind of have a sickeningly sweet relationship themselves. There are quite a few times where they're pretty lovey-dovey with each other, and I don't think it's just me with my
Moxie's and Millie's relationship.
I mean, seriously, look how upset Ozzy is when his precious Fizz is hurt. It's adorable. Question is, when and how did it start? Obviously, Ozzy's is one of Howard's biggest venues, so of course Mammon's biggest talents would have performed there, and naturally, this would have been how Ozzy first met Fizz. I'm betting Osmodius found his performance thrilling, most likely sexually thrilling, and for him it was probably love at first sight.
Now that's the spirit of love.
As for why Fizz ended up reciprocating his feelings though, here's my theory. As I said earlier, Fizz bears heavy resemblance to Mammon, and there's a very good chance it's because Mammon is behind giving him extensive surgery. Being the embodiment of greed, I can't imagine he treated Fizz as anything more than a tool to make money. In other words, Fizz may have been successful, but he was most likely absolutely miserable and even alone. He had lost his best and perhaps only friend, Blitz, and what's success without friends to share it with? So when Fizz partnered with Ozzy, presumably after Ozzy bought Fizz, seeing as the embodiment of greed would hardly let his biggest moneymaker go without a fight, he was in fact both rescuing Fizz from a very toxic person and a truly shitty life. That could very well be why he loves Osmodius so much, and why he's so sickeningly happy in his presence.
Ain't that just such a happy display? It sickens me. Get the fuck out.
Like this video to support the channel, subscribe for more Helluva Boss
I need to watch Helluva Boss again.
Your thoughts down below. Remember to check out my socials in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I need to watch Helluva Boss again, and one of my favourite presents that I actually got off a cookie was, I keep saying it, I need to get it out on stream for you guys, show you. I've got a Angel Dust from Has Been Hotel, because Angel Dust is my absolute favourite. Then my absolute favourite on Helluva Boss is Luna, because she was like me as a teenager with the emo look as well. So I've got Luna socks and a Luna plushie. And the next I've got loads of pins. I've got this like, it fills up to a mug, like a standard UK mug size when they have cupboards. And it's just filled with pins of Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel. Absolutely love the show so much. They're probably my favourite presents that Cookie got me. Absolutely love them, I really do. Right, next one is House of Asmodeus. Like, we just found out about Asmodeus, introduction here. Honestly, for anyone that doesn't know what I'm watching or understand, I genuinely would say go and watch Has Been Hotel pilot. We don't know. I don't know if it's still going to be a movie or TV show for that. We've been waiting years for Has Been Hotel to come out properly. But there's Helluva Boss, and it's both by Vivziepop. Like, if you want me to put the link, I can put the link in for Vivziepop right now. And like, it's yeah, I'm gonna have to. Let me see if I can put a link in for you, because it's Vivziepop themselves. And like I said, if you like Disney, this is basically Disney for adults. Oh, it's because they're under this spindle. They've done a me where they've called Vivziepop, but the tagline's different. But yeah, this is it. And it's Vivziepop, and these are the people where we're watching the fan theories. And like I said, if you love Disney or you love that kind of style cartoon, this is more for adults. It's all based in hell. So it's very adult content as well. So it's like for us kids that were, or like alternative kids that were raised by Disney, but we never felt connected to the Disney princesses. Like, even as a child, I felt more connected to the Dalmatian dogs and the Disney villains than I ever did as the princesses. And it's just like, it matures it. And for me, it's like, there's more characters in there that you can actually like be like, oh yeah, I can feel this. Now I've grown up, I'm a Disney kid, and now I'm growing up, and now I'm a Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel kid. And I need some tattoos of them. I really do need some tattoos of Vivziepop stuff. Right, so let's go to the next one. And there you go. Oh, there we go. So yeah, like if you just come into my stream today, the reason why we are doing this is because last episode, I always do a Let's Watch at the end. And I like the series Let's Watch. We start from Coffee House Crimes, Ink Master, Tattoo Fails. Then, thanks to Cookie, he introduced me to Laxadaisy, because that finally came out. If you don't know what that is and you love cats, check out Laxadaisy. Honestly, the first episode was fantastic. We watched it together. Then we went into Has Been Hotel. Then last stream, I found someone doing a fan theory of the backstory of everyone in Has Been Hotel. And they introduced us to this person, and that's why we're here watching their fan theories, because fan theories are fun. They really are. I love fan theories. The episodes are on YouTube, my darling. They're on YouTube. Has Been Hotel is only a pilot because at the moment, like I told you, it's been about 3 years and we don't know if it's going to be a movie or anything. But Has Been Hotel is a full-on free series that you can watch through Vivziepop's link on YouTube. And honestly, Tweedle, I think you will absolutely love it. I've fallen in love with it. It's my favourite thing in the whole world now. And I never thought something would actually, be the same length, same level as Disney for me. Coming from a Disney family, like granted, I was the one that liked the Disney animals and the villains more than the princesses, but coming from a Disney family, it's up there for me, in my personal opinion. It is up there. I love it so much. So yeah, House of Asmodeus, subtext explained. Sorry if this will cause any spoilers for anyone who's not watched it, but I did promise this as my Let's Watch, so to go through his videos.
Episode 7's House of Asmodeus is a truly wonderful song. What I loved about it most, though, was the way that the subtext in the expressions and gestures said even more than the lyrics themselves. Due to the song being a bit too much of a bop, there were messages that many might have missed. As such, I've taken it upon myself to break down all the parts of the sequence concerning Blitz and Stolas. Also, please subscribe to ensure that you don't miss out on any Helluva boss theories, and to prevent my channel from fading into the algorithm. Most don't, so it's much appreciated when you do. My socials are in the description. Now back to the video.
Do it. That Blitzo? So you're showing your face? Hey everybody, this guy's a total disgrace.
When Fizz turns on Blitz after he joins in on the heckling, I don't think he's only looking embarrassed about being called out and ridiculed in public. To me, Blitz looks more betrayed and hurt. He and Fizzarolli used to share a close bond, as revealed in the episode's ending. Even though they no longer have a friendship together, his words still would have stung more because of that.
Some nerve you got to comment on a relationship.
Oh,
Last I
Stolas.
checked, your love life is a pile of shit.
Despite the dates being under false pretenses, Blitz does still genuinely have feelings for Stolas if that one scene in episode 6 is anything to go by. His darting his eyes back and forth at Stolas would most likely indicate that he doesn't want Stolas to know he's no good at relationships, and naturally, Fizz's comment makes Stolas feel more than a little awkward. When Fizz moves closer in on Blitz, he looks absolutely terrified, more than just being startled by having a creepy clown get a little too close to his face. I think it's because he's actually kind of ashamed of himself, and that he feels uncomfortable with Fizz getting a good look at him and judging him. His fear transforms into a scowl immediately after. In my opinion, this is nothing more than a tough front he's putting on to hide the fact that he's feeling sheepish. When Vorosika first appears, he manages to maintain his grumpy composure, but that soon crumbles when she starts to get under his skin.
Stroke on my later. Yeah, but when it was my turn, he did no reciprocating.
Obviously, here she's saying that he was a selfish lover, that only cared about getting himself off and not her. However, she's most likely taking what happened in a more sinister context than it really was. As we learned in episode 6, Blitz pushed her away and made her resent him. When he wasn't trying to get her off in return, it's because he was afraid of opening himself up to her. Or should I say opening her up? I regret saying that. With that being said, it still was selfish of him to do so, and he should have thought more about her feelings if he was willing to enter a relationship with her in the first place.
A selfish imp in the sheets, and just as bad in the streets. A reckless, heartbreaking freak.
Here, Veronica pushes Blitz to the floor in the background, while she's huge and dominant in the foreground. Clearly, this is a clever visual metaphor that represents how small she's making him feel with her words. His initial scowl quickly dissolves into a look of immense guilt and regret, and why wouldn't it? This girl used to love him, and he her. Now she's looking at him with absolute scorn. It must be really painful. It's worth noting that Blitz doesn't once try to defend himself.
Oh,
at any
Blitz, you
point
got
during
yourself
the
in
sequence,
so much
most
shit.
likely because Blitz is his worst critic.
He really
agrees
is.
with everything they're saying. While he doesn't defend himself, it does inspire Stolas out of his seat. My interpretation of this is that he was planning to come to his aid before Ozzy started to rag on him as well.
Who's that at your table? Is your data demon Prince? Stolas, is that you?
Are you sleeping with an imp?
Stolas looks shocked and horrified to be discovered by Ozzy. And
Are
I
you
think this
sleeping with
moment
an imp?
served as a bit of a reality check. After the comments, he looks around at the audience. I believe this is him having the sudden realization that not only does this impact him and his personal relationships, but with his relationship to the denizens of hell as well.
You used to have a smoking wife, a kid, you had it all. I hope you didn't give it up so you and him could get it up.
Oh, no, I
Stolas
want them
was already
together,
feeling like shits
though.
about his family leaving, but I think the fact that in his mind he could actually see Stella and Octavia leave him suggests that only now is it truly sinking in what he's lost. However, Ozzy's words don't exactly reign true. While Stolas' family certainly have left him due to cheating with Blitz, I strongly doubt it was only for sex, given how much he cared about impressing Blitzy and trying to converse with him. He was eager for this date, not just
I
to be
want
sex
Stolas
after.
and Blitz
With that being
together.
said, Stolas does have sex on the brain so much to the point where Blitz feels like that's all he wants him for. Stolas knows he's doing this, so he can't really argue back.
You sold your life for a thrust. Now that's the spirit of the love.
Blitz can barely look at Stolas here, and I think it's because he feels extremely guilty about not only ruining his reputation, but putting him in this situation for selfish pursuits in the first place. When Stolas hides behind the menu, I think Blitz is absolutely crushed. For one thing, Stolas' embarrassment and lack of objection to the things Asmodeus is saying about him would confirm Blitz's worst beliefs in his mind, and have him believe that Stolas really did sell his life for a thrust, despite the reality being that it was so much more than that for a horny owl. Blitz would also most likely be upset that things between the pair of them are never going to be the same
The
again.
books, the
Despite
books.
Moxie and Millie's part of the song
Oh,
being
Moxie and
straightforward,
Millie, I
they
love
do
them.
serve the very important purpose of creating a contrast between Eminem's relationship and Stolitz. The healthiness of their relationship accentuates the flaws with the, at the moment, toxic one. That's why it's so powerful and painful when Stolas extends his hand to comfort Blitz, only for Blitz to reject it. Here, Blitz has given up on having anything like Moxie and Millie have with Stolas. With all of this being